Welcome into a post-game edition of Bleav and Carolina Panthers here on the Bleav Podcast Networks, powered by the fine folks over at FanDuel. Desmond Johnson here in the house with the Panthers' all-time leading rusher, Jonathan Stewart. Although that title might be in jeopardy if Rico Dowdle stays in town longer based off of what he did today. The Panthers with a come from behind victory at home against the Miami Dolphins, 27-24, really in a tale of two different games, really. It wasn't even by half. Like the game was just crazy in terms of the ups and downs in it. And Stu, honestly, as a Panther fan, this is probably the first time I had a game from beginning to end where I was invested in it from beginning to end because of the play and what they were doing. And I just wanted to start this whole thing off with shout out to Dave Canales for, even though they had those two turnovers in the first 5 plays or whatever it was that they had on offense, and it felt like we weren't even out there at all on offense. Miami just was going down the field. Shout out to him for not abandoning the run game when we were down 17-0 in the first half. Like, they could have panicked like they normally do and start throwing the ball over the place. He did what I'm sitting at home thinking. I'm like, Bryce Young can't carry this team to victory. He can be a part of the victory, but he's not going to carry us. Let's do what we can do. Let's see what Rico can do. And boy, Rico showed out today. So I'm gonna leave the floor to you to talk about Rico and what he was doing, what he was seeing out there. And to be honest, he could have broke that record, but he started getting cramps in the second half. And Trevor Etienne had to come in for him for a couple, because you can see him so frustrated on the sideline, like, man, let me get back in there. And we get back in there, I'm hot. And he had to get pulled out. But the floor is yours, man.
Yeah, to your point, man, when you're going into a game like this, you're 1-3 facing another 1-3 opponent. You do not want to come out of this thing with a loss. And credit to the whole entire team, man, because it was a I think this was a identity shift. I think this was a realization of the defense being the backbone to this team to this team. But the identity shift was Rico Dowdle. Miami, them Dolphins got hit with that Rico today. Okay,
they did.
They got hit with it, and we've been saying the moment that Dan Morgan pulled Rico into this into this Carolina uniform, shame on the Dallas Cowboys, because that's a 206-yard game that they are in loss of. Okay, so
I don't know how he got out of Dallas.
I don't know how he got out of Dallas, but I'm glad he's here. And that's what, credit to the offensive line. That right side, Brady Christensen filling in, Caden Mays obviously doing his thing, but that right side, man, it was unstoppable. They were creating piercing lanes for Rico Dowdle and Trevor Etienne to run through. But the start of the game, defensively, they were doing what they were supposed to do, besides finding where Darren Waller was, right? The chunk plays early and often. He had 5 receptions for 70-something yards early, but then he went quiet. And that's credit to the defensive side of the ball, the coaching staff being able to make those types of adjustments to make sure that they stay in this game. We overcame. We are overcomers. The Carolina Panthers are overcomers. If you're a Carolina Panther fan, this is a game that you want to be a part of. The Cardiac Cats, 17-point deficit. This team willed their way into a win. It actually could have been way worse for the Miami Dolphins because of those turnovers early and often. Bryce being able to keep his poise as a leader in that huddle, to make sure that his guys are still in it. I saw him on the sideline after he threw the pick, and he went over there and dapped up every single last person on that sideline, saying, hey, whatever he was saying, it had to be, I got you, my bad, we are still in this. 17-point deficit. They come out running the ball. Rico Dowdle, there was a gap scheme run that they ran, and I just knew that this was different. But just the style of run, the style of blocking the guys coming off the ball. But they ran a play where they pulled Damian Lewis right there in the second quarter, and Damian, it was the touchdown drive to Xavier Legette. But the beginning of that drive started with a gap scheme run. Damian Lewis comes and basically does a kick out block, and what
Is that the one where he
Brady
pulled like from?
Christensen Brady
Yeah.
Christensen has a down block.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Taylor Moton has another down block,
I
and
think the cat had a block on there too. Yeah.
it was the biggest and quickest lane that I've seen the Carolina Panthers, have as far as being in the run game. And Rico Dowdle does not pat his feet. He gets the ball, he sees where he's going to go, and he puts one foot in the ground and he gets gone. Okay, that's how quick it happens,
Yeah.
and it was
That's
happening
just that
all day
easy.
long.
Yeah.
And they couldn't stop the run, and they haven't been able to stop the run. The Dolphins are one of the worst teams in the NFL in stopping the run. That's not our problem, and that's not the Carolina problem. The Carolina Panthers problem. The Carolina Panthers had a game plan, which was we're going to run the ball. They suck at stopping the run, so we have to run the ball. If we
Mm-hmm.
can't run the ball, then shame on us. And we were down 17 points, and you're saying to yourself, we're going to keep our foot on the gas pedal with our game plan. This is a game that is up to us. That's what the Carolina Panthers message was today. It's up to us, and we know it's up to us. The linebackers on defense, oh my lord!
Oh
Whenever
man.
you
Yeah.
the
We finally got some
Christian
linebackers. Yeah.
Roseboom was over there laying the boom all day long. He was the
He's
leading
been in the
tackler
backfield a
on the
lot.
roster
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
Lived in the backfield. And kudos to Evero for drawing up play call for run stop packages. Right, you have Christian Roseboom in the backfield like that because your defensive coordinator is drawing up blitzes to run stop, and we did that from the very first snap. And I think one of the reasons why we kind of got, mixed up with, the passing game a little bit is because we were so dialed in on stopping the run. Guys were at the line of scrimmage. Morrig had 3 tackles for losses. There's just so many good things that you can look at as far as what we can build on and what we hope to see this Carolina Panther team stack on as they go into the Dallas Cowboys this following week.
The Miami Dolphins had 19 rushing yards totals, the second lowest allowed in Panthers
Yeah,
history.
that's
The
bad.
Dolphins had yeah, it ain't bad. They had a 1.4 yard per carry average and 14 carries. Tua got off the passing game for Miami. They were doing their thing, and Lord knows what it
Yeah,
would
they're
look
gonna
like.
have
Ty
their
Jones out
wrinkles.
there.
They're gonna have their wrinkles. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's the type of play caller McDaniel's is, right? Like he's going to make sure that he gets his, but we got ours more than he got his, and that's the key to the victory. Is our defensive line? Oh my! Listen, Derek Brown, Nick
Derek
Scorton,
Brown is a grown man. Every week he
Patrick
shows you he's a
Jones.
grown man.
Like we have guys like our front seven came to play, and we have depth. When those guys are healthy, we haven't had Patrick Jones in the last couple of weeks. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have certain guys that we can depend on to set the edge, to be a force to be reckoned with as far as getting after the quarterback. That offensive line for the Miami Dolphins, I'm sorry to tell you, but that might be the worst offensive line in all football, the way they
They
play
made us
today.
look great. Yeah, we had a couple sacks, a
But
lot of pressures. Tua was being hurt.
yeah.
So I mean, yeah.
But again,
I
that's not our problem. That's the game plan. You attack the weaknesses and you step on the throat.
I want to take you and the Bleav in Panthers fans on a journey, and that's me sitting on my couch throughout this game with some of the
Yeah.
notes because I was sort of reading through some of the notes, and I sound like a crazy person now that the game is over. The first thing I wrote down: how many mistakes does Bryce Young get? Serious question. 2 turnovers, first 2 drives. Literally, it's 2 turnovers, first 5 plays or whatever. And I'm like, it's like Groundhog's Day. Like it's literally the same thing we've been talking about every week when we come on here on Sunday. Bryce, don't turn the ball over. If you don't turn it over, we're gonna be all right. If you turn it over, we're digging a hole. So we're digging a hole, and I'm already in a mood at that point. 17-0. I'm just like, man, like what is happening here? And then again, like I said, they stuck to the run. They hadn't even got through their scripted plays yet. They hadn't even been out there long enough to get through the 20 or
Yeah.
scripted plays they had
At
written
one
out.
point there at one point, Desmond, in the first quarter, it was like 12 minutes and 38 seconds to our 2 minutes and
Yeah.
whatever. It
like,
was
here,
it
take
was
it. Take the
crazy.
ball.
Yeah.
We don't want the ball yet. Miami offense is moving, capital letters. Tight end Darren Waller is a mismatch. And that was the first half. But to what you mentioned, he kind of disappeared in the second. And Tua didn't really target him that much in the second either. I know he was on a
Yes,
snap
you
count,
know
but
why? It's because we realized, oh, we want to stop the run, but we got to make sure we know where
we got to
Waller
guard
is.
him.
We got to guard
Guard
him.
that
And,
Darren.
and and what we did was we bracketed him. We doubled him. We did what we need to do to make sure that he was not an option. And you can tell throughout the course of the game, whenever we got rid of Tua's first option, he got nervous.
Yeah.
Start patting the ball, start moving his feet, start getting
Mhm.
impatient, and he got away with. If we were in certain spots a little sooner, we would have had some turnovers for sure.
It left Waddle really as his only guy out there to try to find, and he was basically having tunnel vision with Waddle in the second half because nobody else was getting open. In the meantime, the front for Carolina was getting back there, and they couldn't go back to the run game, even though it was a tight game. H killed us last year, and like for whatever reason, they just couldn't get anything going on the run game. Well, not for whatever reason. Derek Brown and company showed up in the run
Derek,
defense today.
bro,
Ashawn Robinson,
Derek Brown was a force, bro. The the sack that he had early on in the game,
yeah,
number
Thanks for killing
73, I think his number was 73. He had no chance, okay?
Yeah, I think
And
he was like
then
in the
throughout,
sack too. Like he just kind of
right,
tackled them both.
yeah, he was a part of the sack. He's like, yeah,
It's
go
like
ahead, Derek.
bears.
But after that, it was a confidence builder and a lack thereof confidence for that offensive line. It's like, hey, look, if you're ever put on a one-on-one with Derek Brown, like, what are y'all doing? Don't
Barbecue
you do
chicken.
that?
Yeah,
It's
barbecue chicken.
fried chicken,
He
and
got
fried
drafted
bologna.
because he was taking doubles all the time in college. That's why they drafted him in the first place. He was just
Yeah,
throwing people like the frisbee throw or whatever he does, where he
right.
has you like this, and then he just goes and disposes
Yep.
you,
I'm gonna
and
send
then he
you
goes
over
off.
here.
Yeah, like when he chooses to.
Yeah.
I'm so happy the rookies. They got Jimmy Horn Jr., who we've been calling for to be on the active roster on Sundays all year. Finally got in today, and he had a crucial catch in the fourth quarter that got us, in position to kind of seal this game with the game-in touchdown. He played well. Mitchell Evans, the tight end that we
Mitchell
drafted,
Avenue.
was
Yeah,
key.
the rookies came in and did their thing. Scorton. Obviously you
Yep,
have Thornton now, 30 the DB
he had
that we've
that
been
key
talking
breakout
about,
at
high
the end.
praise in
Yep,
preseason. He came to play. Trevor Etienne finding himself in the in an opportunity where Rico got a cramp and he came in to spell and they didn't change a thing. They kept
nope,
running the
kept doing the
ball.
same. Yep,
I love
I
it,
loved it.
and that's
Loved it.
that's the good thing when you have a depth chart with guys, some dogs, because a lot of times you do have a fall off in talent, and you kind of have to change your game plan and your philosophy to spell a guy. But they didn't have to do any of that to close out this game. They were able to call on some guys. I mean, if you think about it, Desmond, the guys that you heard names of towards the end of this game, they weren't here last year.
Yep.
Think about that. This
Yep.
is all Dan Morgan's doing.
You're
Dan
finally
Morgan
starting to see it. Yeah.
is
It's like how
you're
you talk
starting to
about all the
see
time with the
what it looks
cooking.
like.
Well, how you talk about all the time with the cooking or whatever. We always talk about you gotta have the right
Yeah.
seasonings and this and that. Sometimes you gotta let it
Yeah,
sit on
so
the stove and let it cook a little
yeah,
bit
sit on the
before you can
stove a
actually
little
eat
bit. Yeah.
it.
You taste it today and it tastes pretty good. It's like,
It's
okay,
pretty good.
well,
We still
what
got
else can we
a little
add
more
to that?
time. It still needs to simmer a little
What
bit, but
else
we
can we
on our
add
way.
to that? Yeah,
And
exactly that.
I did want to I wanted to shout out Eric Collins. I think I've had him on my show once. The announcer that was announcing today, him and Mark Sheriff. I can never say his last
Mm-hmm.
name. Y'all know he played linebacker for the Broncos, won 3 Super Bowls. Mark Sheriff. Anyway, Eric Collins. Eric Collins. He is the normal announcer for the Hornets radio network, who I do stuff with here with Tobacco Road Sports Radio in North Carolina. He's the one that's gone viral for his calls. If you have not heard any of Eric Collins' calls for the Hornets, go online to YouTube and Google Eric Collins Hornets radio calls. He gets so emotional in his calls, like he kind of forgets where he is. And when I found out he was calling this game today, I was like, oh, Eric Collins is on. Eric Collins is a national treasure. Like if you just got exposed to Eric Collins today, the Hornets start playing their preseason actually tonight. They started against Oklahoma City Thunder. Listen to the Hornets radio network and listen to Eric Collins. He is a gem, and he got a chance to do it today because the MLB playoffs are going on. So some of the guys that normally are announcing NFL games on Sunday have been pulled off to go call Major League Baseball. So Collins got an opportunity to do that today, and I'm glad that they pulled him over. You mentioned the right side of the offensive line. Taylor Moton and Brady Christensen, who got put over at right guard, who's also our backup center. There was a point in the game they had the Panthers that ran 10 carries to the right side for over 125 yards, just running to the right. And eventually, Schlereth said it on the broadcast, like, what did he say? He said, when the Broncos went back-to-back and won Super Bowls, when he was on their line in 98, 99 or whatever, he said that they basically had 6 plays. They had 6 winning plays. That was it. Now, he was like, we had different formations and pre-snap movement and stuff. Kind of just nice. It was. But it was mainly like 6 plays, like Tecmo Bowl. Like basically we had 6 plays that we ran. And when we found one that we liked, we might change the dressing around it. But we can get the salad, like the same thing over and over and over again. And Carolina kind of figured that out today. Like sometimes we talk about them on the show getting too cute or overthinking themselves. Like, oh, let's try this, let's try that. Dave Canales, it felt like he finally settled down. And once I think Rico forced Dave Canales to change his play calling. I think that's what happened today because Rico was running different. Like Rico was running.
I don't think he had it. I don't think it was a change of anything. I think this was just an opportunity to be able to do so. The last several weeks, we've been getting down by 23 points early, right? Yeah. We were down 17, right? and we had some early positive success in running. You started that touchdown drive that went to Xavier Legette with running the ball intently. And when you win on first downs, it makes second down easier. When you win on second down, you either convert or it's a 3rd and 1. It's a 3rd and 1, you're getting that, okay? Especially you have an offensive line like ours. And so that was the recipe today. And you were supposed to do that against a team that was inferior to you on the defensive side of the ball when it comes to stopping the run. The question going forward is, does that recipe stay the same, right? Because it doesn't matter who you play. You should be the person dictating what you're going to try to do and try to accomplish because you know your guys, you know your players, and you know what you want to achieve. And I think you're starting to see proof of what is being put on the field as confidence for the coaching staff to say, okay, we can trust this guy. It's all about trust, right? Mm-hmm. And what I saw on defense was the defense trusting coaching throughout the week and seeing proof of what doesn't work the week before, which is, hey, you got to contain the edge, son. What did we say? One of the keys of victory. Contain the edge. Contain the edge. Contain the edge. We did that, and guys were able to have solid run fits throughout the whole course of the game. Tackles for losses, DBs coming up there smacking guys. I mean, this was a physical football game. And again, running game is the identity. The defense is the backbone. That's the Carolina Panther way.
And we've said that on this show that they've got it. If they're looking for an identity, they don't need to look for a new one. They just need to reestablish the identity that's already been put here at Carolina Panther land. Run the ball, stop the run. The main stars of Carolina Panthers 30 years or whatever have been on the defensive side of the ball for the most part. Like they're known for the defense and mainly the linebackers in particular. And you mentioned Rosenblum had a great day today. Had a couple of Trevor Wallace signs where we've been like, where has he been? It felt like they finally, like it clicked, like they finally knew where they were supposed to be. So instead of them reacting to stuff, like having runners coming at them 10 yards upfield, they were in the backfield or they were stopping plays 2 yards out. Like they this film and preparation was very key this year. Well, this week it felt like in terms of scheming what they're going to do. Now, granted, we started off our midweek episode last week, starting off with the horrific injury to Tyreek Hill, and of course that changed the game plan entirely for Miami in terms of what they could and couldn't do. It also changed it for us in our defense, where it felt like you said, Stu, let's focus on stopping the run. Let's not let Achane get off here. If Tua gets off for 230 yards and Waddle gets 100-something yards, Steve, we'll take that. As long as we're doing what we're supposed to be doing on our end, we should be okay. And in the end, it kind of worked out. Now, again, with the 2 turnovers early, it could have been a lot worse, like you said.
It should have been a lot worse without the turnovers early.
Yeah, because we were driving.
The time of possession was thrown off because of those 2 turnovers, correct?
Yeah, because I did pull up the box score here because we had the ball for 31 minutes and 14 seconds. The Dolphins had it for 28 minutes and 46 seconds, but it felt like the Dolphins had it like the entire first half. It felt like
the entire first half because we gave them the ball, right? But then it was the last 2.5 quarters. It was like, hold on, everybody, look, my bad. we woke up on the wrong side of the ball, wrong
Yeah,
side of
let's
the bed.
reset.
Let's
Pause.
reestablish what we're here to really do. Okay, like they ain't even all that. I ain't even all that. Like we
Yeah.
got Rico Dowdle. We gonna hit him with the Rico. And then we're gonna make sure T Mac get his. Oh, you forgot about XL? Well, Xavier Legette, we're gonna mess around and hit him in the end zone. Nice
Leggett,
hands catch. And
Leggett showed
then
up today. I was
and
I was
then and
getting
then
worried.
and then
Oh,
Jimmy Horn Jr. first time touching the football. I think he had 2 rushes on the jet sweeps.
yeah, did a couple
You
jet sweeps.
see, you see Xavier Legette blocking downfield, pushing like taking a guy to the sideline on the
Mm-hmm.
jet sweep, and then you see him come up huge on the corner route. The corner route right there to set us up after we had a nice run gained by Rico. He had a cramp, came out the game. And then Jimmy Horn set us up for the red zone opportunity, and then there's just a lot of things that they did so well towards the end of the game, and you just got to stack it.
I
And
will say,
the cool thing is the next game is a home game, so
yeah.
just you can stay home in the comfort of your house, come to the facility, get healed up if you have any banged up injuries. The actual cool thing is we had no injuries,
Yeah,
this game.
clean game,
Clean
clean
game.
game. And we got the Cowboys come in here who have problems against the run themselves.
Oh
They
yeah,
can
they can't
score.
stop it. They
They can
can't
score
stop a
against
cold.
everybody. That might be a shootout next Sunday. I will say this before we get to the FanDuel bet for Monday night here on Bleav in Panthers. I mentioned Bryce Young at the very beginning of this episode because it was Bryce with the 2 turnovers at the very beginning. That first one we were driving, the one where he just kind of like fumbled it, kind of. I'm not sure what was going on, but it just came out of his hands. I thought about it and I was like, you know what? I've been a Panther fan since the inception of the franchise. I've gone through every single starting quarterback they've ever had. Bryce Young might be the most frustrating starting quarterback I've ever seen. And it's not for all bad things. It's good and bad. Like he might do stuff like that, and it's all like in a condensed pocket where here's a turnover, here's another turnover, here's a sack I should have took. Here's something, I don't know what's going on. Like that happens, and then like in the same game, he might flip a switch, or they just get him right through a couple of plays where he starts throwing these darts, like these dimes, like that Xavier Legette pass that he threw in the end zone. He kind of led him there. Like he threw the ball and Legette hadn't broke out yet to turn to it. So by the time he turned and curved to it, he was the only one that could really make a play on the ball. And Bryce put it exactly where you had to put it, right there at the back of the end zone, where only Xavier could get it.
You throw the ball sometimes for the receiver to make a play, and that's what Bryce did on that touchdown pass. A lot of times the quarterback's asked to make a play, which is throw it on the receiver, body catch. And we want him to throw a dart so that way he can hold on to the ball as he gets hit, right? Secure the catch. But that touchdown throw, to your point, he threw him open, right? To where only he can catch it. And it was a hands catch, and that had to be something that felt so good for him, especially all the talk that was going on throughout the weeks of because one of the things that we don't want to like talk about is this is his second year, right? And yeah, T Mac on his first year, he's come on strong, but his body type and his play style is way different than Xavier Legette's.
He was a top 10 draft pick. Xavier was not. Like it's a difference.
But it's also different play styles, right? And so you're gonna get Xavier Legette the ball differently than you are gonna get the ball to T Mac. And certain things have to be developed, and certain guys have to do their job to reroute certain seconds, to reroute the secondary to open up guys like Xavier Legette, right? But kudos to him, kudos to the whole entire team for coming out and putting on a good show, man, because that's what that was. It was entertaining, it was fun to watch, and it gave us our highs and our lows. But at the end of the day, we come out victorious, and you actually have something to build on. And it's the fact that we were able to identify who we really are and who we want to be, and that we can actually do it. So now we just got to stack it.
I hope to set in a pattern, because the last time we won, the same thing had happened on my weekend. I called my alma mater's high school football game on Friday. They lost. I produced A&T's football game on Saturday. They lost. I came to the Panthers game like, oh, now what are we going to do? Panthers win. Same exact thing happened this weekend where my alma mater lost. I call that game A&T lost, and now I'm like, I can't
something
root
like
against
that
them
happens
losing.
again. You're gonna if that happens again, Desmond, we're gonna have to shake something up.
We're gonna have to figure it out, yeah, because I can't live my weekends like this. I can't. It's too stressful. Real quick before we get out of here, the FanDuel bet of the week. We're gonna start doing them on the Monday night game, and the Monday night game is actually shaping up to be a good one. It's Kansas City at Jacksonville, and you can go to sportsbook.fanduel.com. Just click on the NFL tab and go down to the Monday night game. There's a 4-leg same game parlay in here that I wanted to give you, Stu. Monday night in Duval, 4 offensive stars light up the bank in Jacksonville. So basically, if Travis Kelce scores a touchdown anytime in this game, Travis Etienne scores a touchdown in this game, Xavier Worthy scores a touchdown in this game, and Brian Thomas Jr. scores a touchdown in this game. If you do that, it's at plus 45.42. It means a $10 wager wins $454.21.
Don't you do it?
That's the top receiver, and that's the tight end and the top receiver for Kansas City, and the top running back and top wide receiver for Jacksonville. If they score. Now the over under in this game is 45.5. Jesus. So yeah, they're expecting a bit of a high scoring game. So get your money in. That's Monday, Monday Night Football, Kansas City, Jacksonville. Surprising. Like, I mean, I know we lost to them opening week, but I think they're leading the AFC South. I think Indiana or Indianapolis is tied with them.
I can tell you who I'm tell you who I'm not going to bet against in this game is Patrick Mahomes. But I will definitely take the over on that. I'm taking the over on that game.
The NFL should have stepped on the head of the snake when they had a chance, and they did not. And now Kansas City.
Why they gotta be a snake?
That's the saying. When you gotta step on the head of the snake if you got it down or whatever. You had that with Kansas City. They were almost in that spot. I wrote on my notes too. One of the last ones I'll say before we kind of change the game. Well, before we change the game around, I wrote down, we are the get right game for the league right now. We are not.
We are not the get right game. The get right games are now the Jets and Dolphins. And
give it to me, because no one was expecting them to be the get right game. It's Baltimore.
The Baltimore Ravens
right game right now.
Yeah, the Baltimore Ravens are struggling. Good.
I don't know what happened. Yeah,
man, y'all lose. Listen, the MVP is Lamar Jackson, because if you ain't got him, you ain't nothing.
It's a whole different squad. The defense, we ain't even come to the game today. We ain't even going to play. For 3 weeks, they have not played football in Baltimore. So I don't know what they are doing. The Panthers have been outscored 45 points in the second quarter. That's the most in the NFL. And that's something we started to see a little bit because we actually scored our 10 in the second quarter when we started turning things around. Mm-hmm. Once they showed that graphic and then the Panthers started doing what they were doing, that's when I kind of got reinvested back in the game. They're running the ball. They're not getting scared here. There's 2.5 quarters left to go in the game. We can still do this.
We're running the ball, and we stopped the run. Literally.
Yeah. The run, that was a dominating run stop performance.
Every run was just they got a handoff for a yard.
It's like watching them just run into a wall. Every time you keep running to Derrick Brown too many times, you ain't gonna want to.
Yeah, Derrick Brown's out there pushing guys around like it was just. I already told you about Derrick Brown. Derrick Brown, listen, Derrick Brown is like Godzilla out there.
Yeah,
really. Hey, where's the city at? I'm here to search and destroy.
Oh man! So him doing Lathan Ransom almost got an interception on that last drive, one of the rookies. And we've been seeing head coach Dave Canales in the press conferences I had noticed the past 2 weeks, kind of not just hourly saying it, but kind of hinting at the fact that they wanted to see some of the younger guys out there play, and a lot of those younger guys are on defense. Today we got a chance to see that, and on offense too, like we have Trevor Etienne, Jimmy Horn Jr. These are guys are here to help. Yeah, they're good.
Jimmy Horn Jr., you saw a flash. Scorton has been balling. Thornton has been balling. Etienne, we see what he can do.
Let him go. Let him go. What do we have to lose?
Evans,
there's no reason
so many guys. So every single player absolutely should be on edge every single week, because it is a what have you done for me lately type of job. And when I played, I felt that every single week. I got to come out and perform. So whatever I'm doing throughout the week, I have to be ready for Sunday.
Yeah, I hope Chuba was watching this game going, damn.
I honestly think if Chuba was healthy, we probably would have not ran. We probably would not have passed the ball at all if Chuba was healthy. I mean, think about it.
I'm fine with that. Like, I really am. I'm fine with that. Like, if we're going to do this and run like for 8 yards a clip or whatever it ends up being, or 6.5, whatever it is, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, every other play, you're getting a first down just from running the ball. That puts so much on the other team. Like, it pushes the other team into this area of, can we stop them from doing anything? If they're going to gash us for 12 yards every time they go around the right side of that line, like, what are we doing out here? So,
let's get out of here.
Yeah, let's get out of here. Panthers 27-24 winners over the Miami Dolphins. We'll be back with our midweek episode previewing Panthers versus Cowboys. That is a 1 o'clock kickoff on Fox, if I'm not mistaken. We'll double check that before we get back to you here middle of the week. Make sure you rate and subscribe. Bleav in Panthers on the YouTube channel for Bleav. You can exclusively see the video there, youtube.com/@Bleav. And the audio is always available wherever you get your podcasts. For Jonathan Stewart, this is Desmond Johnson. It's a victory Sunday. We want it to Victory Monday, y'all. Let's enjoy this. We'll be back in the middle of the week to get you ready for Cowboys versus Panthers. You've been watching Bleav Panthers here on the Bleav Podcast Network.